Good morning, it's Brian. It is here. It is the art of startup war. What that means is that we, as an investor, are bringing to you one of our finest investments to showcase this week so that all of you other investors and wannabe investors out there can get to see the early stage startup space and find the companies when they're right at their beginning so that as they scale and grow, you can benefit from all of that growth in value yourself. So this morning, we have a fantastic company that we've invested in, ComiBlock. Dennis is doing a phenomenal job over there. And I want to bring you through their journey about how they started ComiBlock, what it's all about, why we invested in them, why we're so bullish on this company, and where they're going in the future. Dennis, welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, Brian, it's glad to be here again. It's always nice to talk to you. It's just the energy you bring to the game is just the thing that changes the vibes for me entirely. Startup is boring, but with you, I think it's just like a hallelujah journey all the way.
Thank you, buddy. Well, you know what? It makes it easier for me when I get a company like ComiBlock, which is on the front of everything. And so we're going to dig in to everything that the company is about. But first of all, tell us a little bit about how you came up with the idea.
Basically, the ComiBlock's idea is actually like heaven sent. We started building Send Village back in 2019 before COVID. So Send Village was actually a blockchain company on like a bank on a blockchain, because in Africa there is a very big issue with remittances and the rest of that. So while we are solving that problem, from COVID happened 2020. We had issues acquiring users, and most of our users that come to us because it was this market dip in the crypto space, and so many of the users we've onboarded are using the application to trade cryptocurrency and on the side send money to one another. So we saw people do more of trading than sending money to one another, which is what the platform was internally built for in the first place, that is sending remittances. So time came when some of the users started coming up to us and because we had these Telegram group chats where we just normally do support. So they come and start asking, which coin should I buy? What should I sell? When should I do this and that? And the rest of that.
So Dennis, just to interrupt for 1 second. So first, your idea, the inception of ComiBlock was because you realized that the growth of crypto was becoming so big that there were so many coins, but that there was a huge problem with the remittances at the beginning. That was the great concept, right?
Yeah.
And so I just want to make sure everybody can see this, because crypto is obviously such a huge space. It is so powerful around the world. And look, whether Bitcoin is increasing or Bitcoin is reducing, or whether there's 10 coins or whether there's 10,000 coins, what we know is this. We know that the money is to be made in the picks and shovels, not necessarily in the coins themselves. Whoever's working in the infrastructure behind these coins, that's where you can make money all day long. And so was that your idea when you said, let's get involved in the remittance of these coins?
Yeah, that is actually the idea behind it, and it's something that we still have in the long term here, planned in as ComiBlocks as well. Because you see, there is a use case right now. Personally, for me, I see cryptocurrencies in this earlier stage of as a technology and an asset. Users are definitely going to speculate with it, and as you have it, you're going to want to do so many other things with it, like sending of remittances and the rest of that. So, and that is the story that just drove down from Send Village to ComiBlocks, because the users came, can you give us recommendation? Can you do this? That is how ComiBlocks started. All of a sudden, it just an idea the users brought to us. And we've doubled down and we're working on this. And what we've seen as we are walking down the path is like, right now, it's very clear that, especially in Africa, most people that are into crypto are not there for this technology. Let's just be very clear. They don't care about sovereignty or whatever many people in the West are talking about. They're just there to make money. And that is the gap so many platforms in Africa haven't even pinpointed, because you can't go on New York Stock Exchange to go and buy stocks. If you want to buy stocks, you have to go through a broker or an investment advisor, standard. But in crypto, the technology makes it possible for users to just go straight, plug in, and buy what they want to buy. But exchanges model right now, in the next 2, 3, 5 years, is not really going to be sustainable, because what we see is that these exchanges, their business model their market share keeps getting smaller as more exchanges come on board. Coinbase was holding the market very well. Binance came along, and Binance is taking much of that market share from them. Now, Crypto.com has almost eaten almost 26% of Coinbase market share in Europe, and
Wow.
it's eating deep into that. So, what
And,
this
and actually,
business?
Dennis, just on this, because it's such a fascinating space for me, right? Because like
Mhm.
what you just said, I want to just make sure that folks listening to it don't just brush over it as a small point. Well, you mentioned that in Africa, there's a problem if you want to trade shares in another country, especially in the United States, right? You can't just go on the New York Stock Exchange. You can't just buy stocks. So you literally have a continent of 1 billion people who have been starved of the ability of being able to simply and easily trade stocks and shares. They've had to go through the cumbersome process of having a broker in Africa, deal with it so you can make sure you buy those shares and then it's got to go back. But it's hard unless you've got a ton of money. Now, at the same time in Africa, what's so interesting is like how the relationship that Africans have with money, because digital money is actually way more advanced in Africa than it is over in the West. In the West, people are still, credit cards is a big move forward. People are still using cash. But everything I'm seeing in Africa was that just direct move. So you have people who are really comfortable dealing with digital currency, i.e. being able to pay for stuff on their phones in a very simple way, have a seamless process with between the banks in there so they can pay for things. And at the same time, they're starved of the ability to be able to buy stocks and shares. So actually, when there was the ability to buy crypto in a very simple way, people flocked towards it, right?
Definitely, it's just like, how will I say? It's just bringing a food to a dog, and like it's just a thing. The dog will always come and grab the food and grab the bone from you 100%. So that is what happened in Africa. According to Chainalysis, the African crypto market from June 2019 to 2020 grew by almost 1,600%. And what we see, if you're tracking most of the analytics, because blockchain is very open, what you see is that wallets holding around $1,000 in crypto to around $5,000 in crypto from that 2020 till now has grown by almost 500%. So there is this move towards cryptocurrency in Africa, driven by the bad economic policy and monetary policy here in Africa, because that is actually what is driving people towards these assets to go and buy these things. Right now in Nigeria, where I am right now, inflation is around 37%. That is reported inflation on the news. But some staple foods that we eat, like spaghetti and the rest of that, the prices has gone up by almost 100%. So
Oof.
how do you expect the woman on the street or the guy working and hustling to just be able to keep up? Understand? And one thing we've seen is that majority of the Nigerian youths, majority of the young people in Africa or in Nigeria especially, work in banks. Like, this is data that people don't look at very well, and that is something that we are very focused on. And what we're saying is that many of the existing cryptocurrency platforms are just buy and sell, and the opportunity for us right now in this in that space is that many of these folks have built something for traders. None of them have built something for investors. Because why I say this is because there is a very big difference from being a trader. Like me, I'm a trader, and an investor. So a trader is more active. He understands the market, and he understands when to sell and when to buy. And that is
More short term, right? Isn't a trader more of a short term animal, while an
definitely
investor is someone who wants
it's
to
more
get a return but very comfortable being patient?
definitely it gets. So that is just the driving point between most of these retail users in Africa that is yet to touch crypto. Because you see so many news articles, crypto is moving. I will tell you, there is like a very large tranche of users here that are very tech savvy, financially savvy, that is literally confused about cryptocurrency. They don't have any platform that points them to, okay, this is how you do your portfolio. This is what you buy. Okay, this is when you sell. Okay, this is what is happening. Okay, this is what like, so many of the users we've interviewed don't even know what is portfolio rebalancing. It is crazy. Like, some of them have cryptocurrency, they don't even know what is portfolio rebalancing. And for you to stay alive in a volatile market like crypto, which is something Africans definitely is not shying away from, for you to survive in it, you have to have the tactics. Because personally, me as a person, I'm a very macro-driven investor. I look at macro very well because I believe that macro is just the basis of investing. If you don't understand macro, you're wasting your time. For me, that's my personal view. Yeah. And one thing I believe so much is institutional investors are moving into crypto right now, and everybody's happy about it. BlackRock. Personally, I'm not really happy about it because why? Why? When I say people tackle me, the reason why is a validation for cryptocurrency, but it's an opportunity for us at ComiBlock as well, but it's a tug of war for the retail investors because investing is all about, can I outsmart the folks behind? Can I, like trading, especially on most of these assets, stocks and the rest of that, it's all about outsmarting the next person. And what we see that these smart money guys are coming in with the technology, the research, the sophistication, and they're all betting against the retail investors. Like that is what is happening. Crypto trading and crypto investing over the years is getting more easier to buy, but it's getting much harder to invest. And investment advice, quality investment advice is definitely nowhere to be found in this space. Like you go on Twitter, you see jabba, and memes and the rest of that.
I couldn't agree more. And you don't you don't know where it comes from. Like I even look, one of my guys here at the dojo, he was telling me about how his granny was giving him advice on which coin that he should buy. And that's when you know things have gone crazy, when you've got folks who are out there. And so the advice becomes irrelevant because it's coming from people who heard advice from a person who heard advice from a person who heard advice from a person, and then it ends up coming back to the same person who spread that false advice in the first place, who's like, oh my God, that worked really well. So your idea initially was, what if we created a place, a safe place, whereby we can literally make it as simple as someone learning how to drive all the time? Like, they want to be great investors. They want to make sure that they have a platform to be able to get that from. But talk to me about how it evolved. Like, how did you build such a complicated platform that really took it to the new level? Because look, from my side of it, we at Expert Dojo invested in you. We invested in you because you're such a strong CEO, such a strong entrepreneur. But we also invested in the platform because we saw the platform was doing things that nobody else in the market was doing. Everybody else was so transactional, so commoditized, and you shined above everybody else. Talk to us a little bit about that journey and how that happened.
Yeah, the journey actually started very well in September last year. You know, you have we started out building this thing on WhatsApp group chats. And then from WhatsApp group chats, we evolved to Airtable because I'm this kind of product person that before I actually build anything, I want to make sure I test the hell out of it. I want to test every part and look at cranny of it. So we had these early users that came with it, or those ideas came. Then we don't have like, when we started building ComiBlock, it was very crazy because something like this haven't existed here yet. And it's so crazy that we like, how am I going to say this? We don't even know what to build, but we know the problem we want to solve, but we don't even know how to start building it. Yeah. I don't know if you get that question. Like,
of course, I get it.
Yeah, because the reason why is that nobody is doing something like ComiBlocks in Nigeria or Africa. Yeah, nobody's currently, as of now, nobody's doing it. So we just kind of like, okay, what we did was we just keep talking to our users. We just kept talking to them. We launched something called, it was a hedge fund model before people just came around, but I know that was never going to work because investing is kind of like a very somehow a word that has been bastardized so much in the Nigerian crypto, in the Nigerian space as a per se, because almost around, if I'm not mistaken, around $2 billion have been lost to Ponzi schemes in Nigeria just from 2015 to now. Yeah. And we're just trying to make sure that we make sure that when people come to ComiBlocks, they see, like, they just feel safe. So what we started doing was just double down, talking to our users, research as well. And from there, we started getting some feedbacks. Why not you put it as a portfolio? Why not you make it as something that can have my account and have my money invested in there? So from there, we started reaching out to folks in the space. We started talking to users, started like productizing the processes that we had. We did around 9 iterations before we got to what we wanted to do, like 9 iterations. We have to iterate the product before we get to what we are building right now. And since that journey has just been very crazy, because the thing that made that journey very interesting is the team behind me. Because any founder, CEO will come out and say, hey, I think I'm lucky because I have the best people. And we see startups as a very easy journey, because why we say that is because most founders are lazy, 100%. And humans naturally are lazy animals. So for you to do something like ComiBlocks in Nigeria right now, it has to take you a lot, because we started speaking to regulators. When we spoke to regulators, they were like, oh, this is nice, but it doesn't exist. We don't have a vehicle for it here. So, okay, wait till we get a vehicle. And probably that vehicle for it, maybe like in the next 10 years, we're like, I know, help, we can't wait for these guys. We started building, we dismantled, brought down the app, took it up again. Like, it was just like, the process was just going back and forth till we got to the point where we most of our users started saying, okay, I think I like this experience. I think I like this. From there, what they started doing, we started making it the idea of like, okay, because initially it was just come on board, sign up, we throw you a barrage of different cryptocurrencies. As we built down, we started putting them in portfolios. And from now, what we're not doing is that those portfolios right now, we're no longer just coming and throwing you those portfolios. We're now giving you those portfolios based on your risk appetite, because that is something that is definitely not existing in crypto, even in Africa. So you sign up, we ask you a couple of questions. Based on your investment assessment, we recommend a portfolio to you to invest in that portfolio. And our algorithms and our team in-house manage that portfolio ongoing. So what you see is that what the user is facing is very automated. But personally, I hold the view that cryptocurrency is not something you fully automate and lie down on the bed and sleep. Because when you look at what is happening in the world right now, there is geopolitical tension, Russia and the rest of them are doing. So it's kind of rechanging what people see about investing and how they manage their assets. So what we've done down that line is to merge smart beta investing. Investment strategy is kind of like a mix of active and passive investing strategy. So
it's very brilliant, Dennis. And I think, look, everybody listening is going to actually applaud this, because too much advice has been passed out by people who have colluded interests, are people who in the world of crypto are idiots. You know, they've read 4 blogs on Google, they've spoken to 3 buddies down in the bar, and suddenly they're an expert on crypto and they're telling their 3 next best friends. So I think everybody sees that. Like, the wonderful thing about really the way you've come out, I think what's fascinating for people is how you've managed to do it, how you've managed to build that expertise into a platform and then provide those training wheels on the bicycle, so that, you know, when our 3 or 4-year-old daughter or son gets up on the bicycle, which is really what many crypto investors are, they're safe, right? The bicycle's not going to fall over. So talk to us about how you built the expertise and how you integrated that into the network.
Okay, basically, how that happened was when I was in college. I ran a family and friend Bitcoin fund. So that was like actually in 2018, 2017, because that is when I got into crypto. So when I started building ComiBlocks, it was just like me transferring the energy I already have into what is already going to be ComiBlocks. So from the portfolios strategies that we created, we saw that it's going to make a lot of sense when people invest in something, because there is this product statement we have: you are different, and so should be the way you invest. Understand? So that is what actually drives our portfolio, our products. What will I say? Our products, our product vision. We've kind of, a lot of things happening on exchanges are, oh, I have this coin, I want to buy and I want to sell. That is basically what is happening. Everybody is just jumping on this bandwagon of, oh, let's go and trade. Nobody has built a platform that allows users to take a step back, come back, look at this thing from a proper perspective of how investing should be done. Because Luna crashed, most of the big guys jumped off. The retail guys took the fall. Celsius crashed, most of the big guys jumped off. The retail guys took the fall. Tracy, the billions of dollars Tracy Capital borrowed was not anybody's money, but the small guys like me, money that they borrowed. So what we're doing is like, there is this thing I normally say, there is this toxicity flying around in the crypto space. And for Web3 or any other thing that has to do with crypto goes through mainstream adoption, there's something a term we're currently using. I want to make sure that it goes around the crypto space very well. Responsible investing. That is just the culture around our products. You shouldn't hold Bitcoin till you go to your grave. That is just the product philosophy and how we've built it straight down. And why I say so is rebalance when you need to rebalance and buy and sell when you need to sell. So that process, it already informed us to make decisions around what the portfolios should look like, how we should build it, how we should structure these products. And then another thing that really helped us with our partners, I won't lie to you, because we can't really make this possible without the help of our guys from Fireblocks, Falconex, Binance, Tatum, Gem, Black Demon, like even folks from JP Morgan and the rest of that we normally talk to. It's just been very helpful because what we've seen is that we can take some of the learnings they have over there in the West, streamline what they do, and then bring it down here in Africa and give it to the everyday investors. Because what we are seeing is that after this bear market right now, people are going to decouple from guessing and start looking to investing. And when that starts happening, people are going to start looking for platforms like ComiBlocks to help them do that, because it's a very big realization for everybody right now that you need to be armed to be able to survive in crypto. And another thing that most people are not looking at is exchanges right now are shouting their whole hallelujah towards institutional investors, because that is where the money is. Retail investors comes with risk. They comes with their own risk. And retail by exchanges right now.
And by the way, and they constitute government intervention and trouble. Because government are not going to mess with an exchange or anybody if they see institutional investors losing money, because they know they can take care of themselves. But the more moms who should have been feeding their 3 or 4 kids and put money into crypto because they were coerced to put it into it or because their friends told them to do it, the more the government gets nervous that this will affect their votes in the future. So I think the genesis of the idea everybody gets, the execution of the idea everybody gets. Talk to us just in the last 10 minutes. What I really want to get to is, how did you manage to raise the money to get started? For me, it was a no-brainer. I saw what you were building. I saw what was happening within crypto. I love digital money and where the world is going. I love the concept of what's happening, but I hated the fact that it had become I don't even want to say a Ponzi scheme, but like the retail investors were so manipulated by certain people and nobody was protecting them. I loved the fact that your platform was coming in as a protection to give them the same opportunity as institutionals. So your vision is huge. Everybody's going to see this. Talk to us about the implementation, how much money you raised. Talk to us about the launching of the product, how it's being received, and talk to us about what you're building towards the future.
Yeah, basically what we've seen is we've seen a very warm reception. It's like a husband that went away for a long time and is coming back and the children are very happy. That is something we've seen within our community, within a network of friends. We've been in private beta for some while. Recently, we pushed out to public. And before I jumped on the call, I was checking some analytics on our website and the rest of them. The normal 5,000 to 10,000 visitors we normally get in 2 months. We got it like from today is 9th. Yeah, we hit that around 7,500 website visitors just within from September 2nd to now. And we haven't even like made a lot of noise, promoted the product, do digital marketing and start flooding the waves. We just kind of like share on WhatsApp, because what we did when we launched recently, publicly. I just told my guys, look at what everybody's going to do. Everybody's going to be a disciple. We designed a banner. Everybody shared it across their WhatsApp, their family, girlfriends. Everybody shared it across their WhatsApp. And what we've seen that users have signed up, downloaded the application, dropped their emails. In our email sequencing, some of them have booked up a meeting because personally, how I run my sales cycle in ComiBlock is like B2B. I run ComiBlock like a B2B company when it comes to sale. I run it like a B2B company when it comes to sale. And the another thing that we've seen is like, I don't know how I'm going to put this into you right now, is we're going to grow very fast. And it's going to happen like...
You're not going to grow. You're going to explode.
Definitely, very, very fast. And how we've been able to raise money to build this platform is just been bootstrapping till you guys came in. We spoke to so many VCs at the early stage. So many people told us, this is not going to work. They're definitely going to stop in your way. People are not going to work with you, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I like hearing those things, you know, like I like hearing it's not going to work because I don't know if you saw the email I sent out recently.
I saw your email, buddy. Listen, you gave me a smile. You gave me a smile. You talked to him Irish style. And I like that because, you know, look, not everybody can see the vision because most people are afraid, right? Early stage startup, and this is for all investors out there. Early stage startup is a land for the brave. You can make 1,000 times return by backing incredible companies at the early stage, or you can wait for the public markets when it's way too late, right? So if you come in at the beginning, you have to back the entrepreneurs and the execution of their idea. For me, this is the easiest backing we've ever made. We're in a market which we know crypto, we know tokens, we know digital money. It's only going to move forward. We know that from a exchange perspective, most of it is commoditized. It's going to go away. The great financial giants of the next 20 years are about to start. And everything you're building sings to me that you're going to have that. So tell us, let us understand. So we know, so you've come into public beta, you're killing it right now. It's just going to get better and better and better and better. What's the opportunity for the investors to come in the future? We've got probably 3-4 minutes left. What are you looking to raise? Talk to us about how it's going to grow. Give us some numbers so we can get all excited about it and show us the future.
Yeah, definitely. We recently applied for Techstars and we just have spoke to some of the folks there. They were like, "Oh, what are you guys raising?" We said we're raising 1.2 million. They said, "At what valuation?" We said 10 million. They said, is that not too small? Yeah, I know, but can we start with this right now? And we keep going to where we're going to. And right now, the opportunity for ComiBlocks is actually because personally, I'm very deeply convinced. It's not because I want to say I'm convinced. It's something that's happened. This is going to be a very easy exit startup. This is where you get your return on your investment fast. I'm an investor, and I definitely know that when people invest in something, they want to make sure that they are not investing they want to make sure they get return on their investment. Because what I'm saying is that we've been approached by some folks in the traditional investment industry that looks to acquire us, even as of last year.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no, we are not selling yet. So that is the opportunity here for ComiBlocks, because this is something that is clear. You just have to look at it. And I'm very happy that most people are not really looking at poking holes and trying to understand, because it gives me more opportunity to take off even before many people competitions start coming in. And the vision for ComiBlocks is not just the managed portfolios is just one part of the game, because we are building the world's most human crypto company, and we want to make sure that we give people the tools to connect their entire financial life right on our platform. We've spoken to our partners and our partners we're looking to work with. Things like stock investing as well, ETFs, is something we're looking to bring into our platform for people that are holding stocks and the rest of that, to connect that vision, to connect that portfolios just on a single platform. And another thing we are seeing is that platforms like ComiBlocks, for them to really, really stay sticky, they have to do more. Things like portfolio gifting has never been tried anywhere in crypto in Africa. We are trying something like that to allow people to gift crypto portfolios to their loved ones. We're going to be rolling that out in the next 3 months. And then also just a bank on the blockchain attached, like a full banking account capability. That is something we're looking to give to our users from next year. So already, let me say this before we close. There is this upside of investing in ComiBlocks. And that upside is that under our layer, we are building a peer-to-peer service that powers our infrastructure in terms of on and off ramp. So that service, we can leverage it to do so many things like remittances. We haven't even touched there. Like, it's something that is there by default. We just have to just jump into it when we need to. And that is something we are looking at doing next year. So like, there is this opportunity for anybody that invests in ComiBlocks to kind of like invest in something that is going to grow fast. And very, very well, like we've figured out our shit and we're just doubling down. And when it comes to compliance, most people ask us, all this, I think we are the most regulated or compliant crypto business in Nigeria. Currently, we are working with top unicorns in crypto that most founders in Nigeria and in Africa ask, Dennis, how do you get this guy? I say, I don't know. I just write emails and I do it very well. So
because you surround yourself by great people. And look, I want to finish with a summary of Africa, crypto, and yourself in a moment. But first of all, could you let everybody have your contact details so people can, just your email address, so folks can contact you, investors out there who are listening to this and everybody else as well?
Yeah.
And then just finish us with just one sentence on where ComiBlock is going to be in 5 years' time.
Basically, you just have to look at betterment. That is where we're going to. I didn't understand that. That is where we're going to, straightforward, when it comes to what we are building. And anybody can reach out to me at dennis@comiblocks.com. You can always look me up on Twitter, DennisMary _ on Instagram, LinkedIn, DennisMary _ as well. I'm just everywhere. But specifically, DennisMary@comiblocks.com is the fastest way to kind of like touch me anytime, any day.
I love it. Okay, wonderful. And look, for all you listeners out there, everybody who listens to this podcast, we are investors. We are not hype people. We are not promotion people. We only bring on companies that we have directly invested in and we believe in incredibly. This is one such company. For those of you who know about Africa, you know that it is the fastest growing continent on the planet. It's going to be 25% of the entire global population in 25 years' time. It is not just taking over, but if you even look at our portfolio returns, the gains on value, Africa by far is the number one region. If you look at digital currency around the world, Africa by far is the number one region. And if you look at the nascent crypto space within Africa, as far as creating structure, Africa has got the most amount of opportunity. We just had to find a great entrepreneur and a phenomenal team and company that could actually take the prize home. We found that in ComiBlock. We're delighted with them. Anyone who ever wants to reach out to me, you always can. And otherwise, Dennis, keep on building this incredible beast that you're building. And we're going to ride all the way to paradise together. Buddy.
Definitely. I appreciate your time, Brian. Like anytime, any day. I was telling my guys, Dojo is just a fuel in this stage because this is a very crazy stage. So many things happening. But, whenever I come and talk to you, I just feel extra motivated and I just go back and transfer the energy to my team. My CFO right now, which is my co-founder, Juliet, he still remembers the meeting we had with you last month. They're like, I love talking to Brian, the guy is mad. So like, she always calls that call and the rest of it. So the energy is just like, it's directly transferred to the team 100%. I appreciate it.
Thank you, brother. Listen, you give it to me when I see you just continuing to scale and do incredible things. Thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of this and allowing Dojo to be a part of it by investing.
Yeah, thank you.